because the majority of this live, the bulk of these talking points is gonna be about Devin Haney. Listen, man, Devin Haney, a year ago at this time, a lot of people were making fun of him, but he beat Brian Norman Jr. He's back on the pound for pound list. He's living large and in charge. And it's Deebo Devin Haney's world, and we're just living in it. A lot of fighters want to fight Deebo Devin Haney. So that being said, let's get into a talking point numero uno. Talking point number one. You got Xander Zayas responding to Devin Haney, saying that, because Devin got on Twitter. He started bumping his gums. He started flapping his gums, and he started saying that pretty much that, they say everything, but let's fight. And one thing about it is this: Xander Zayas. I know he's 23. I know a lot of people, they don't like him because they feel like he's just been built up by the machine, the Top Rank, and fair play to anybody who feels that way. But Xander Zayas did not take too kindly to this, and he responded to it. So let's get into that, and let's dissect any and all things Deebo Devin Haney. Now, go to screen share. So here we go. This is yesterday. This is yesterday on the mean streets of X, on Twitter. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter. Make sure you guys go follow me on X at True School Sports, because, I'll be on there, having fun, popping off, and just, talking crazy on there. So we have a lot of fun on there. But anyway, so here we go. So Devin Haney pretty much said, they say everything, let's fight. And that was in response to a fan's tweet about Xander Zayas, right? And obviously, Xander Zayas caught wind of that, and here's what Xander Zayas told Devin Haney. He stated the following, and I quote, "Relax, Diva. My focus is on getting the third belt from Josh Kelly, but we are already told your daddy," and he put daddy in all caps, "we already told your daddy if that doesn't happen, we'll be happy to put that one back on your record." So there you go. There you go. Xander Zayas is not pulling no punches. He's reminding Devin Haney of what happened to him when he fought Ryan Garcia. And, it sounds like he's more than willing, ready, able to fight Devin Haney. But, of course, let's be honest. They're not in the same weight class. Devin Haney just got to 47, right? Devin Haney just got to 47. There's big fights there for him at 47. You got, like, Conor Benn is there. The Ryan Garcia rematch is there, even though Devin Haney has ruled that out, and we'll get to that here in a second. You got Keyshawn Davis potentially moving up. Like, there's fights out there for him, but Xander Zayas ain't ruling it out. Like, he would love the Devin Haney fight, right? And Devin Haney, Deebo Dev, he responded to that, and he said simply, and I quote, as we wait for it to load here, because I got all these tabs open on my computer to get you guys these illustrious and amazing talking points for this ever so amazing and important live transmission we have here on True School Sports. Devin Haney stated the following, and I quote, and it's going to load up right now. He said, basically, he had said that, and I quote, and this is a response to Xander's tweet, and I quote, "Our fight is bigger than Josh Kelly, and you make more money. Kelly is going to fight the winner of Boots and Vergil, so it looks like me and you should be next," right? So there you go. Devin Haney, he's looking for the biggest and best fights out there. Look, I'm no Devin Haney fanboy, right? I was, I wanted Brian Norman to win. I picked Brian Norman to win. I was the one running all over Twitter saying Brian Norman Jr. in 7 rounds or less, right? And he went up there and he won it. And Brian Norman Jr., people want to discredit Devin Haney's win and say that Brian Norman Jr. was green. They want to say Brian Norman Jr. wasn't that good. They want to say that, all these things. But like I said, man, I was talking a whole lot before the fight, and I'm not one to switch up on what I was saying, right? Devin Haney won the fight. I feel like, in my opinion, he cemented himself as a future Hall of Famer with the win. He's a 3-division champion. He's right now the number 1 welterweight in the world, whether you like it or not. And one thing about Devin Haney, win, lose, or draw, one thing that he's done in his career is that he stepped up to the plate and he's been willing, ready, and able to fight the biggest, best, and available competition out there. And it's no different here when it comes to the subject of one Xander Zayas, who is a unified champion, undefeated, doing his thing, showing the world how you're supposed to move and maneuver at such a young age. The same way Devin Haney, you could even say, when he was, around that age, when he was undisputed, right? So you give credit where credit is due. Now, funny enough, right, and I'll actually use this whole Xander Zayas thing to pivot into my other talking point because, I love Bill Haney. I'm a huge, if anything, I'm a bigger Bill Haney fan than I am a Devin Haney fan, to be honest with you, because I'm really fascinated by the managerial aspect of boxing, fighter development, why certain fights happen, why certain fights make sense at the right time, and why certain fights don't. I've always been fascinated by that. My whole time I've been a boxing fan, my entire life, right? And so when I see these great managers like Peter Kahn, like even a Rick Marigan, and like a Bill Haney, doing their thing, I'm very intrigued as to what makes these guys tick, right? And so Bill Haney, he went on Twitter yesterday, and he had a lot of choice words for not just Vergil Ortiz, or not just Xander Zayas, but just the Hispanic community in general. And I'm gonna play you guys. I'm gonna play you guys this clip because a lot of people have been asking me about this. They want to know what I think about this. So I'm gonna give you guys what I think about it here in a little second. But I want to refresh everyone's memory as to what Bill Haney said. I got the clip right here. So Bill Haney, he went on Twitter, he went on X, and he basically was saying that like a lot of the Hispanic fighters, whenever Devin Haney calls them out, he said that a lot of them become comedians and they don't really show that urgency to go ahead and fight. And a lot of people, one thing about boxing and any comments about race is, people get very up in arms. Now, for me, I'm not sensitive. Personally, I don't give a fuck if people make racist comments or what they perceive to be racist comments or not. I don't really care. But I just saw it as Bill Haney self-promoting and stirring the pot. One thing about Bill, one thing he's always been great at with his son and Devin Haney's career, he's always been good at self-promoting and stirring the pot and getting people to care and talk about and be interested in what Devin Haney has going on. So here's what Bill Haney said in regards to not just Xander Zayas, but the Hispanic fighters in general. Play the clip.
Is it me? Or is it every Hispanic or Latin fighter that Deebo pulls up on starts to become a comedian? I mean, we started with Subriel Matias. I mean, he was on Jokey Joke, comedian time. Teofimo Lopez, comedian. Rolly Romero, comedian. Ryan Garcia, comedian. And not Xander Zayas, Jokey Joke. I'm asking the Latino community that represents so much in this boxing, when did everything get so Jokey Joke? And how long you gonna stand for that? They say everything except let's fight.
There you go. So Bill Haney doing what he does best, stirring the pot, and he's saying that a lot of these Hispanic fighters aren't serious about wanting to fight Devin Haney, and I find it very interesting. He mentioned Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias lost, so I get it. He's not really in position to fight Dev, but Dev didn't go and run the fight with Subriel Matias, so you can't really use Subriel Matias, in my opinion. But my thing is this. Okay, so now let's unpack, because see, when you start making comments about the whole Hispanic community, all the Hispanic fighters, you're now creating a environment where I can now criticize you if you don't fight certain Hispanic fighters in and around your weight. Now, personally, for me, I really don't give a fuck. I don't care if they're black, white, blue, Spanish. I don't care. Russian. I don't really give a shit about all of that stuff that most boxing fans care about. I really don't. But when you make those kind of comments, you now put the responsibility on yourself to fight any and all of those kind of fighters. So if we start at 47, Bill Haney has now put Devin Haney on the hook to fight Ryan Garcia in a rematch, right? I don't care if Devin Haney say he don't want to fight him again because Ryan punched him too hard. He got to fight Ryan Garcia. He got to fight Mario Barrios if he wins, right? Which, that's not really no crazy fight, but, Mario Barrios. Anybody who's Hispanic, that's now who you got to fight. And then even going to 54, you want to call out the Hispanic fighters. You're not putting yourself on the hook to fight Xander Zayas, Sebastian Madura, Vergil Ortiz, right? Why not Vergil Ortiz? Let's camp out there for a second. Let's camp out there because, and I want to give a shout out to my main man, 50 Gram. According to Boxing, right? Shout out to According to Boxing on Twitter. I really do enjoy his tweets. He keeps things very exciting on social media in the Twitter boxing community. He made a great point, because once you start talking about all these different Hispanic fighters and talking about how they're jokey, right? To use his words, you're now putting the responsibility on yourself to go fight all those guys, right? So to quote my man, according to boxing, he stated the following, and I quote, Bill Haney is looking for Hispanic fighters. Why not fight Vergil Ortiz next at Cowboy Stadium? Clash of styles. Hey, Bill, any jokes with this one? Yeah, he said a lot of names. He said Xander Zayas. He said T.O. He said Super Matias. I didn't hear Vergil Ortiz's name. Why don't we do that fight? Because, as we can see with Golden Boy Promotions, the Boots fight ain't happening next. And we'll get into that later on. But the Boots fight ain't happening next. But, grass is green, the sky is blue, and water is wet. So that's not really anything surprising here. Only delusional boxing fans ever believe that fight was going to happen. I told you guys for a while that fight ain't happening. But you guys want to. Anyway, you want to call out the Hispanic fan base. You're not putting the responsibility on yourself to fight any and all top Hispanic fighters, right? So I don't want to hear about, oh, he punches too hard. Oh, he's too dangerous. Oh, he doesn't have a fan base. I don't want to hear those things. And I don't want to hear that fights don't make financial sense. Because I know Bill and I know Devin, they're shrewd businessmen. They're not just great fighters. They're not just great trainer and manager and all those kind of things. They're shrewd businessmen. But when you make these kind of comments, you open up a can of worms, and you got to be ready to absorb the entire can of worms, not just the part of the can of worms that you want. You understand? So shit. Vergil Ortiz is free, right? I know that Bill Haney and Oscar know each other, according to Bill, right? According to Bill and Devin and Oscar, in interviews that I've heard, they don't live that far from each other in the Vegas area. They know each other. They hang out in the same circles. They've done business with each other. So if you did business in the past and you know each other and you got that working relationship, then I don't really see why it's such a hard task to go ahead and make a Vergil Ortiz fight. He's free right now. He ain't fighting Boots. He's not fighting Boots. And a lot of people, Ring Magazine, I think he's like the number 1 rated fighter at Ring Magazine right now. He's, even without a title, Vergil Ortiz is widely regarded as the best fighter, or one of the best fighters, in the 154-pound division. Some people would even go as far as to say, even without a title, that he's better than Xander Zayas. So don't just, when you call out the whole Hispanic fan base, don't just fight the Hispanics that you want to fight, that you think you can beat. You got to now fight all of them. You opening up the whole can of worms. So I hope when Bill gets pressed about this in the coming days, weeks, and months, that he don't forget about good old Vergil Ortiz, because Vergil is free. Vergil ain't fighting no one. Vergil's not fighting Boots. Golden Boy just sent a temporary restraining order because they was trying to do the Boots Ennis versus Vergil fight without Golden Boy. They try to cut Golden Boy out of the deal, and they didn't like that. So he's free right now. All you gotta do is just talk to Oscar, talk to Rick Marigan, get some things right. You guys fought Jose Ramirez. He's managed by Rick Marigan. So I'm sure if you worked with Rick Marigan once, you can do it again. I believe in you, Bill. I believe in you, Devin. Go fight Vergil Ortiz. Go fight Vergil Ortiz, right? So that's my thoughts on that. I don't really care. You can fight anybody you want, black, green, blue, Hispanic. I don't give a damn. I'm just giving my thoughts on it, right? And then before I get to the comments, because I